Well, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Whitney Ward. We do begin tonight as another round of thunderstorms could be moving through the area. We want to take a look first at some of the pictures and videos that viewers like you sent in to us after some of the hail that we saw in the area earlier this morning. This was in places like Liberty Lake and Lind. There was quite a bit of severe weather here just in the last 24 hours, and there could be more depending on where you are. So let's get straight to the KREM 2 Weather Center. Meteorologist Michelle Boss joining us right now. You've been tracking these systems. How's it looking right now?
It looks like most of the stronger thunderstorm activity is starting to shift to the east, so that really puts the focus on North Idaho and northwest Montana. So then while we could still see a few thunderstorms here in eastern Washington this evening, again, the bulk of the activity is going to be to our east. We already saw some thunderstorm activity this morning, but things are starting to quiet down, especially across central Washington. So let's take a look at the severe weather outlook, and you can see the areas in yellow is where really the focus of the stronger storms is going to be. So out in the Silver Valley towards Orofino, Grangeville. Again, still a chance for some storms, though much less here in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene and even up north in North Idaho. Severe thunderstorm watch is in effect for North Idaho to northwestern Montana until 8 o'clock this evening. We do have a red flag warning that does include much of eastern Washington because it is still really dry out there, and we've got some gusty winds expected throughout this evening and tomorrow. As we take a look at the current satellite and radar, you can see a lot of the stormy weather right now is across the southern Idaho Panhandle and northwest Montana. Things are relatively quiet right now in eastern Washington, but current temperatures pretty hot out there. Widespread 90s, 90 right now in Spokane, 94 in Moses Lake. And if it's felt muggy, that's not something we usually feel in this part of the country, but with dew points in the middle and upper 50s, that's when you can really start to feel that humidity in the air. Slight chance of thunderstorms this evening, otherwise mostly clear skies tonight. And this is what your weekend is looking like. Mostly sunny for the bulk of the day on Saturday, 85, sunny on Sunday, 87.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Well, some people still just trying to pick up the pieces because parts of the inland Northwest saw a lot of hail and strong wind yesterday. Our Mark Hanrahan is joining us now to share the damage that some people were able to see right in their own backyards.
It was quite the night last night. Hail damaged cars and homes. Strong winds knocked down trees and left thousands of customers without power yesterday. It was all recorded by viewers from all across the inland Northwest. So here's a look at some of what you captured. Howling wind and hail pounded Liberty Lake tonight. This video from viewer Debbie gives you an idea of just how intense the storms were. Check out the size of the hail left behind once the storm moved out. Viewers from across the region sent in similar photos and videos tonight, including Shanigan Pinson from Newman Lake. He's holding hail the size of ping pong balls in his hand. Deb Weaver captured the storm's power as hail rained down on her back deck. And viewer Lab Bjornby sent in this picture. The quarter in the middle pales in comparison to the 5 pieces of hail surrounding it. It was a similar story at Liberty Lake Wine Cellars. Large hail quickly rained down, then moved on. And all that hail left behind a lot of damage. The windshield on this car proved no match for the hail tonight. And speaking of damage, check out this video sent in by viewer Brent Clapp from Walla Walla. Look at what the hail did to this red F-150. Shattered windows and dents up and down the pickup. It wasn't just hail, but the storms also produced powerful winds. Another viewer says 4 trees came down outside of Rockford on Highway 27, blocking them in. With the help of chainsaws and some elbow grease, they were finally able to clear those trees and move on. Up with KREM meteorologist Thomas Patrick snapped this pictures of trees snapped in half south of Spokane, and he sent in this video from inside his car as the storm pushed through.
That storm was pretty intense, and it's a good reminder of just how serious these thunderstorms can be, especially when they do get severe thunderstorm warned. That storm was packed full of hail. It was about 10 or 12 minutes of just this constant roar and drumming and thundering of hail on the car. I'm a little bit worried I might have a few dents.
The storm also knocked out power to thousands of customers tonight. Then, as quickly as it moved in, it moved on at 45 miles per hour, leaving behind damage and a beautiful sunset in its wake. So for more information on these storms and the forecast, plus a look at the radar to see what is coming through our area, just head to KREM.com or text us the word weather to 509-448-2000, and we'll send that link right to your phone. Whitney?
All right, incredible photos. Thank you very much, Mark. And now to a KREM 2 exclusive. Court documents showing a Spokane police drone was attacked mid-air as it flew over the homeless camp near I-90 in Freya. Police say a person in a tent launched their own drone and tried to take down the police drone. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk is live at the camp right now looking into this bizarre case. Kyle?
Well, it is a bizarre case, Whitney. Spokane police had launched their drone. They were looking for a burglary suspect who ran into the camp to hide. Their drone got rammed by another one, and there was some damage done.
Drones have soared in popularity over the years, and they've proven to be a useful tool for the Spokane Police Department.
Camper here. Community benefits because we're able to find these people. Officers benefit because we're not walking into an ambush. And the suspect benefits because we're able to use other tools and tactics to come up with a peaceful resolution.
They also help officers see in the dark. When an armed suspect tried to hide in someone's backyard, officers knew exactly where he was. You can see police here. The suspect is the white dot.
Found this suspect hiding, was able to position officers in such a way that they could protect the public, but then also begin de-escalation.
Back in July, Spokane police were on the trail of a burglar who stole a laptop from a business on South Freya. The suspect darted into the homeless camp and eventually into a tent. Police launched a drone, and within minutes, a person living at the camp decided to launch his own to try to take down SPDs. If you look closely, you can see that drone here in this picture in a search warrant. Because it's still an open investigation, police aren't yet releasing the video. But the homeless camper flew right toward the SPD drone and rammed it, breaking off a propeller.
Anytime law enforcement is deploying a relatively new technique or tool, there are people that have the opposite interest, right? They are trying to avoid being apprehended. They are trying to hinder investigations.
Officers were able to arrest the burglary suspect, but now had an entirely different investigation. Witnesses at the camp told police they knew who was responsible and that he had several drones in his tent. But when officers searched it, they couldn't find any. The investigation is ongoing.
And Corporal Nick Briggs told us that to the best of his knowledge, this is the first time anyone has ever targeted an SPD drone. Live in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Excellent report tonight, Kyle. Thank you very much. Well, applications are now open to get some help catching up on your back rent. Spokane received $5.5 million in state funding from the Eviction Rent Assistance Program, and now the city has launched an online portal for tenants and landlords to apply to get a portion of that funding. Applicants have to meet 3 requirements in order to get some assistance. First, they must have missed or have past due rent payments since March 1st of 2020. Your household income must be at or below 80% of the area median income, and you must live within Spokane city limits. So you can find the application and all of the criteria on how to apply. Just go to the city's website. The Northeast Youth Center held its annual lemonade stand fundraiser, and teachers and kids all came together today to help them earn a trip to Triple Play Family Fun Park. This is actually the 4th year of this spectacular fundraiser. Kids are out all day holding up those donation signs, waving to cars. Their goal is to raise $9,000 for a camp field trip and other fun events. The organization says the community's been generous and donations are increasing each and every year.
It's been great. It's hot, but we don't care. We've got a lot of ice cold lemonade, and the kids are having a great time waving signs, and every single kid gets to come out here and wave a sign and have a cup of lemonade and help us raise money to get to our $9,000 goal.
The Northeast Youth Center serves a diverse population of Spokane youth. They offer low-cost activities as well as before and after school daycare and sports programs. Well, the city of Spokane wants your input now on potential new dog parks. The Dog Park Survey will help guide the city on the locations and facilities of certain new dog parks. So those who are interested in being a part of that survey have until September 5th to fill it out. You can access the survey on our website. Just go to KREM.com. In other stories, if you have questions about the monkeypox virus, there is now a hotline you can call. The State Department of Health is now partnering with Washington 211 operators, and assistance will be available in 240 languages. Phone operators will be able to answer questions about risk factors, vaccine information, and where you can get treatment. They cannot, however, schedule vaccine appointments. It's just for information. And even though 211 operators are helping, here's the number to call for the actual hotline. You can see 833-829-HELP, and they will be open most days from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Well, once again, Fernand Lake is battling an algae bloom. Yesterday, Idaho health officials issued a public health advisory for the lake. Right now, 3 different agencies are in the area and coming together to issue this warning. The Department of Environmental Quality, also known as DEQ, recently sampled water in the lake and found traces of blue-green algae. So the public is now being urged to use caution when in or near the water. It's really important not to ingest it. The algae blooms can be toxic and even fatal for pets, as well as children, the elderly, and anyone with a compromised immune system. Those are the most at risk of the harmful exposure. However, when temperatures rise, the algae can then bloom and toxic chemical compounds can be released into the water. And if you take a look, you can see the water looks discolored, it's kind of murky, the algae is spreading, and it can also move with wind and water current. Last year, there were health advisories cautioning people from swimming in the Little Spokane River as well. Health experts say signs of exposure are rashes, hives, and vomiting. A hacker accessed the private information of more than 18,000 former multi-care patients. The breach was discovered earlier this year by a multi-care partner company. They were able to stop the access, though, and then contacted law enforcement. Patients' medical conditions, service dates, and provider names are all at risk from that hack. You'll get a notice if you were one of those patients. The partner company is now providing credit monitoring services for all of those patients. Earlier this year, a procession honored the life of Spokane Valley firefighter Dan Patterson. That was just earlier this week. Dozens of fire trucks and first responder vehicles drove through the procession. It all started outside of Spokane Valley Fire District 2 and then went on to the Calvary Chapel near Fairwood. Today, Washington Governor Jay Inslee expressed his sorrow over the passing of that firefighter. In a tweet, Inslee said all U.S. and state flags should now be lowered to half-staff tomorrow. Patterson had been on life support at Sacred Heart since late July. He was taken off of that life support last week. Coming up after the break, the sentencing process continues next week for the Freeman High School shooter. We'll let you know what we know so far.